Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm playing atomic chess, where pieces explode in a 3x3 square around a capture, except pawns, which are immune in that square. My goal is to win 5 games. Let's get started with game number 1. Okay, last time I saw a lot of queens coming out nice and early, and a lot of knights doing the same thing. So we do right away get knight to f3 with the idea of knight to e5, which immediately loses the game. So I'm going to play f6 to stop both of those ideas. We get d4, which is kind of just a regular move as far as I can tell. So maybe this is an opportunity for me to develop my queen. I'm going to play, c5 doesn't work, right? c5, we get this capture, and then there's ideas of queen sack on d7. Okay, so what about knight h6? With the idea of knight to g4, this pawn can't move, and maybe I can win the game that way. Oh, bishop to f4 obviously threatens this, which would blow up a lot of my really important pieces, but knight to g4 is threatening to win the game on f2. So king to d2 seems to be the only way to save it. Okay, my opponent does in fact play king to d2. What about e5 now? Should my opponent take, it would blow up these pieces. And on the next turn, I can develop my queen and have some pretty crazy attacking ideas. So let's play e5 right now. Not to mention now there's ideas of bishop to b4. Anything that blocks, I just capture, and that would also take down the king. Okay, we do get that explosion in the middle. Now, I should probably start with the check. Well, if I start with the check, there's king to c1. Oh, whoa, king to c1, bishop to d2? Nobody can touch my bishop. Oh, that's such a good idea. Okay, bishop to b4 check. I think the only way out of this is king to d3. Oh, we do get king to d3. Okay, this should be very scary for my opponent. Okay, what about queen to e7? My idea would be queen to e3 check, push the king forward, and then just play anything at that point. So let's start with queen to e7. I think we're totally winning at this point. It's just a matter of execution. Oh, a3 tries to boot the bishop, will come in with check. Oh wait, is queen to e4 even better? Yeah, queen to e4. Oh, queen to e4 is checkmate. That's so good. Okay, nice. We win game number 1. And let me explain real quick. The reason this is checkmate is because the king has no legal moves, right? There's no legal moves for the king. And should the king capture, which is the only legal quote unquote move, then the game is over. So instead of forcing the opponent to play the only legal move, they just end the game and call it checkmate. So perfect. We win game number 1. Let's move on to game number 2. Nice, I like how quickly I get paired. That wasn't even a cutscene. That was literally just I got paired immediately. Okay, d4, we're gonna play knight to f6, looking to win right away. Oh, knight to f3, okay, knight to e4, stops the king's escape square, threatens knight takes f2. I don't think there's a way out of this for my opponent. Okay, knight to g5 is a solid counterattack, but I take, and we win game number 2. Wow, it's actually a miracle because the first time that I played this variant, I actually suffered quite a bit with it. And I was only trying to win 3 games back then. Now I'm trying to win 5 on this second go around of all the variants. But once you get a little bit familiar with what the strategies are, it's not so bad, you know? I kind of like atomic chess now that I actually have an idea of what's happening, right? In the first episode, things were just exploding all the time and I didn't know what was happening, but this is quite fun. Let's move on to game number 3. Okay, we get the black pieces. Oh, we get paired against a 1700. So 1780, you don't get to 1780 by accident. I've won my fair share of games and I'm only 1600. F3 right away blocks both of these ideas. Okay, we're gonna have to get a little bit creative. Let's play, oh, actually my opponent's doing the same thing, I believe, trying to get the queen out this way. So I'm gonna play c6 with the idea of queen to b6. Maybe my opponent has the same idea, looking for this. Okay, queen to a4, which is interesting because if I do play queen to b6 now, my opponent can take on a7, and I lose a whole bunch of extra material. On the other hand, if I don't move my queen out, well, actually, can't I also play queen to a5? Takes is just a fair trade. Queen to e4 is just unprotected, so let's give that a try. Queen to a5, and even though in traditional chess that is a free queen, in atomic chess that's a fair trade that's sitting on the board. And my threat now, I guess, would be queen here, and then I just queen to f2. Okay, d3... I assume is trying to develop the bishop, but I don't see anything else concrete besides that. Let's try e6. It kind of ruins any ideas of taking the f7 pawn. Okay, we get pawn to e3. This is a very strange formation. I'm not sure that this is a traditional atomic chess formation. Let's play, here's my idea. Let's play bishop to d6. And my idea is that if I can ever give check on g3, my opponent will probably take. That would explode both of those pieces. Oh, actually, no, I'm threatening. Oh, this is even better. I'm threatening to take on h2. Okay, and that's why we get g3 on this next turn. I was threatening to take h2, and then at some point I could bring the queen in through the g3 and annoy the king. Arrow is as bad as always, but at this point you guys are probably used to it. It seems clear to me that at some point I'm going to have to sacrifice material if I actually want to break through the position. Let's try this. Queen to g5, with the idea that I can take the pawn, it would blow up my bishop and the pawn on g3, it wouldn't affect any other pieces, and I can play, oh wait, queen to h4 doesn't work because the queen, oh, well that was a waste of calculation. Oh, and I'm also struggling with time. I'm under a minute, and my opponent quite literally has twice the amount of time that I have. Okay, queen to d4, I guess threatens this, and it would take out the knight and the queen, which is decently annoying. Oh, I'm down to 30 seconds. Okay, let's just play e5. I'm not even sure if that's the best move, but let's try e5. If queen to c4 looking for this, maybe knight to d5. And as long as I can stay ahead of development, I think I should... Oh, queen sacks for all of these pieces, and now I'm definitely castling. Right, I'm going to castle, get my rook out, and here I'm comfortable sacrificing whatever it takes to get through to the king. Okay, let's play d5. Right, because as soon as my opponent creates any little bit of a hole in the position, I'm diving in with my queen. Right, I'm threatening the king, and it's kamikaze with the queen at that point. Bishop to a3, does that actually work? What if I take here? I lose the rook, but now I'm threatening to come in with the queen to d2, and that's forced win, as I believe. Okay, bishop to f8 looks for this, but now... Oh wait, does queen... Oh wait, am I one tempo too slow? Okay, so I'm one tempo too slow. If I play queen to d... Wait, am I? Because it's... Hold on, it's check. Oh, I have 10 seconds to decide. Let's just move this out of the way. Here's the problem. It's check, and my opponent can't take without it being mate, but my opponent could capture here and blow up the king first. So I don't know if this checkmate would have registered, or if chess.com would have said, well, the opponent has one way out. So I'm not taking that risk. I'm moving g6 and finding another different way into the position. Okay, bishop to h6. I think I can still play... Oh, nice! We do play queen to d2 and get that checkmate. Nice, with that we win game number 3. I feel like I'm pretty proud of that. We played with the black pieces and somehow we were on offense the whole time. Let's move on to game number 4. I am getting quite the taste, I was gonna say I'm getting quite the taste for atomic chess. We're playing a 2175, who plays e4 by the way, which is very interesting. Let's play knight to f6. I'm not afraid of quote unquote losing the knight. Okay, g4. Wow, what is this? What is happening right now? Okay, let's try c6. See if we can get the queen out nice and early. Actually, this way would probably be better. Okay, b4 tries to stop that. What about queen to b6? Looking for this. Okay, d4, sure. Is this meta? Is this some sort of opening strategy? Let's play h5. Okay, bishop to a6 threatens this capture, and that would eliminate so many of my pieces, it's not even funny. Is it worth it? Almost definitely not. Okay, I guess I have to move my queen back, right? I have to move my queen back to d8 and allow this capture. I lose a lot of pieces on the way. Okay, we do get that capture, and I do lose almost half my army on that one. We'll take on g4, try to open some lines. Okay, h3 gets rid of this idea. Let's play queen to b8. Actually, no, queen to b8, bishop to f4. Does knight to g4 work here? Takes, I take, blows up these two pieces. It's a fair trade, but unless I'm ready to mobilize, then I didn't really do much with that. So let's play queen to b8 first. If we do get this, I'll just play like queen to b5 and try to find a different way into the position. Okay, we do get bishop to f4. Let's try queen to b5. I say that with great doubt in my voice because I'm not sure if this works. Okay, c4, walked into that one. Let's see. I guess just queen back to a6 here is necessary. Okay, bishop to g5, probably just looking for this fair trade. Let's play queen to b6, and my idea here is e5. If my opponent takes looking for this, I can take on f2 first and win the game. Okay, a4, let's try e5. Okay, a5 right away boots the queen. Let's go back to b8. I'd like to keep an eye on this pawn in case I can sack the bishop and then come in with the queen right behind. Ooh, d5 allows this. I will take that. I'm still looking for any way for my queen to get into the position. I feel like if the queen can get into the position, I can guarantee a win. Queen to b3 stops that idea. Very profound. Okay. And the worst part is if I move my queen out of the way, my opponent can just play check and force the trade anyways. Okay, we'll bite. We'll take, and I'm sure just taking here and trading off is perfectly fine for my opponent. Okay, we do get that trade. Let's try. Let's at least try to get a comeback going here. Although I'm sure we're just going to get farmed for rating points either way. But you know what? Let's go. Let's see what happens. We'll take. Just trying to open up the position before my opponent can get their bearings. I think I can just take that. Maybe we can come in this way. Okay, f4 stops that idea. Oh no, g5 loses the rook. Oh, I didn't think that through. Okay, go Mr. King. Let's see what you got. d6 here? I don't know. Sure, we'll take, why not? Is there stalemate here? Me trying to play against an almost 2200 rated player, trying to get stalemate. We have to move this way or else we allow this and it blows up the king. Rook to d3. Let's play a6 so this pawn has no more moves. Trudge forward. We can try for d5. Okay, this isn't even close to stalemate, so I'll just fast forward through this a little bit. Oh, that's so funny. My opponent promoting to a rook. Just for the memes. Sure, we get check. I guess I'll just shuffle out of the way. Basically, anything here wins. Ooh, castle checkmate. Holy moly, I've been completely styled on. That was, in full respect, that's hilarious. Just got posterized there. Anyways, we lose game number 4. I'm not mad about it though. It's a 2100. I mean, wow, incredible style points. You should have got extra rating for that. Let's go ahead and move on to game number 5. All right, game number 5, we get paired with somebody a little bit closer to our rating level. e4, I'm gonna play the same thing. Ooh, e5 walks into knight to e4, and there's no way out of this. That's a fork. That is a, I guess that's a royal fork, right? Because it's forking checkmate. Forking the king unto itself. My opponent having a big think now. Okay, queen to f3, we'll go ahead and take, and with that, we win our 4th game. Let's go ahead and move on to game number 6. Nice, a little bit of a higher rated opponent. Maybe I can farm some points. We'll play knight to f6 with the same idea, right? We're looking for either knight to g4 and force our opponent to lose the queen, or if my opponent moves this pawn, I can play knight to e4 and then just win again. Oh, our opponent is a fan. That's so cool. Okay, our opponent plays pawn to g3. Let's try knight to g4. Force our opponent to forfeit the queen. Okay, we do get the queen, so that's really good. Let's play d5. If we get this trade, there's this trappy queen takes d2 move to win. Okay, we do get queen takes d2, and with that, we do win our 5th game. I have to say, this episode kind of flew by, and honestly, I'm having a good time. So if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna play one extra game. All right, bonus game. There we go. We get an 1800. Let's play knight to f3, my go-to opening. f6, not even a second thought. You know, you can tell this opponent's been around. Let's play knight to d4. This is something that somebody played against me last time, and I found quite frustrating. Because the idea is if knight to f5, this wins. If knight to b5, this takes out a whole bunch of pieces. Okay, knight to h6 I've never seen before, but that looks like a really good idea. If I play knight to b5, this, and I lose immediately. Okay, let's play knight to f5 so that my opponent will take, and then it'll be my turn again. I think the initiative here is beyond important. Let's play e4 with the idea of getting the queen out nice and early. Literally backwards, literally the opposite of chess. Okay, there's that trap, right? If we take, it blows up both of our pawns. Queen takes d2, wins the game. Let's play check. And my idea is queen to e2. Okay, queen to e2. That way my opponent can no longer take, or else I also have queen takes e7. And if my opponent takes here, maybe I'll play like knight to c3. I could also castle and then take myself, looking for this. Okay, we do get that capture. I think castling is in my favor now. Well, no, queen to d6. e5 though, queen moves back because it's threatening queen takes h2. I'm not sure. I'll start with knight to c3. Just looking for the kind of obvious knight to b5 and then check. Bishop to g4. I can't play this because it takes my queen with it. So let's play check. Knight to c6 seems to be the only way to defend that, but then what happens if I take? Oh, then there's queen to d2. Got it. So I will castle now with the idea of taking and then unleashing this check. Okay, bishop to e2. Obviously, the biggest threat here is not actually the queen. It's taking the rook and taking my king out with it. Okay, what happens if I take? It takes out my rook, and I don't think I have any threats after that. Okay, what about rook to e1, though? Bishop takes, loses the bishop and the queen. If I take out the knight. I'm threatening this, but then there's simply e5. What about f4? I don't know if that's fast enough, but you know what? This is the bonus game. I have no pressure on my shoulders. Let's do it. Rook to e1. We're sacking the queen and we're going for victory. Okay, we do get that. Let's take, and we're looking obviously for rook takes e7. Okay, e6. What about knight to d5 now? My opponent could drop the queen on purpose, though. The reason I like the knight so much is that I feel like it could cause a lot of problems. So what about knight to b5? Looking for knight to c7 with check. Would force my opponent to lose the queen again. I guess that's fine. Let's just do this for now. Knight to b5. If bishop here, there's d4, takes, and then that just gets rid of that piece. Okay, bishop c5 in fact is played. Let's play d4. Not only do we hit the bishop, but now we're actually developing our own bishop. And it's crazy because we're down a queen, but I think we're okay. I don't think we're losing necessarily. My opponent might castle though, which could be a problem. If I take, I actually lose my knight with it. Okay, my opponent plays bishop back, which is probably not ideal because now I can play check. And if my opponent captures, not only does the bishop go, but the queen goes as well. Okay, king moves out of the way. What if I just take? It loses me the knight and it loses my opponent the bishop and the pawn. And how do you stop this? I don't think it's possible. Let's take. Are we winning? Was that it? Because I feel like if you can get a rook next to the king, you win immediately. And if my opponent moves over, it's not so different. The king has to come up anyways, and then we're back to square one. There's no way we're about to beat an 1800 after a queen sacrifice. Okay, queen to d5 immediately threatens this. Oh, we're back to that original dilemma. If I play check, does my opponent have to respond to check, or can my opponent take here and win the game? Oh, I really don't want to find out though. So what about f3? f3, is there any other way to attack g2? Not this way because of the bishop, not this way because that just loses the queen, so this is probably necessary. I say probably because I'm not totally sure. Okay, what about queen to b5 though? But that's just check, that doesn't actually capture anything. So we might still be winning. I only have 20 seconds to figure this out though. Oh, queen to e6, very nice. Decides to drop the queen instead. Let's try d5. Of course the opponent can sacrifice, but then we have a passed pawn, which could be very good to work with. Okay, queen to e2. Let's play, oh, that's actually threatening to win. And we have 7 seconds, so I need to hurry up here quite a bit. So we're definitely not winning yet, and we only have 9 seconds left on the clock. This is 3-2, we get 2 seconds back. Okay, oh, that's definitely threatening to win. Check, maybe? Maybe you have to respond to check? We do get that sacrifice on g2, but hey, no regrets. That queen sacrifice was awesome, and I feel like it almost took us to victory. We were just 1 or 2 tempo behind. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know down below if you particularly enjoyed Atomic Chess. I know I definitely did. And I will see you guys in the next one.